I had to bring my Think Feminine cup here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Mindful Monday Session 2. Whew, how are we doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Mindful Monday. Last week, we discussed returning to yourself. And this week, tonight, we're focusing on what protects that return. Hello, my name is Berlene. I am the lifestyle strategist, and I am the founder and CEO of Think Feminine LLC. Welcome to our Think Feminine lifestyle community. If this is your first time here, say hello in the comments, give us a like, share the live, because I would love other ladies to participate in the conversation. It's going to be ongoing throughout this year because, again, as we spoke about it last week, we need to set the tone, right, for this year to become a bit more organized, right, to set ourselves up for a more fulfilling and productive year. Hello to you if you are watching us for first, second time, or part of our Rose community. Say hello. Let me know you are watching. How are you feeling? How was your week last week? This week is our second week for January. We are excited, and we're moving to bigger and better things. Okay, one step at a time. Okay, we're gonna do it. Okay, this year is going to be a better year than last year. So thank you for being here. So did you do the assignment? Remember our assignment to ask ourselves, what do you need to do right now? Like, did you take a pause? Okay, did you prioritize self-care over the weekend? Because this is a brand new week. This weekend personally was extremely busy for me because I had to take, some trips. So today was a little bit draggy, but we here. Tomorrow, tonight, we're going to rest. Okay, rest is important. Basically, being mindful. When we're tired, we listen to our bodies. When we are, when we're able to move forward, we move forward. Okay. So tonight, right? Many of us, the topic tonight is boundaries. Okay, boundaries is what going to protect the return. Okay, once we return to ourselves, we need to set up clear boundaries. Ladies, I don't know about you, I've struggled with boundaries. I've struggled with boundaries. And if you are someone who do not like any type of conflict, any type of, confrontations, saying no to anything, saying no to your boss, saying no to your significant others, saying no to your children, saying no to a long-term friendship, saying no to your sisters and brothers, uncles, aunties, whomever you've been in close relations with, is going to be, not a walk in the park. And especially as we, intend to do with this community here, especially if you are embracing your womanhood through wellness, through moving towards a different path. Okay, boundaries is the topic. How do we set boundaries? What is boundaries? First of all, let me know in the comments if you will be watching this live. Okay, the reason boundaries is so important to us, think about it. Okay, think about having a cell phone with no case, right? No case. What happens when your cell phone with even you get the little, you get anxiety, like, oh my goodness, something gonna crack it. Okay, that's our lives without boundaries. You know, things start coming in and crashing into it, and we become unsteady. Okay, and discombobulated because we don't have anything set in place. Okay, so without setting up clear limits, we are setting ourselves up for chaos, you know, unsteadiness. That's when we become stretched out, depleted. That's when our goals start becoming, you know, not, you know, non-important. Our priorities get all mixed up. Okay. Setting up clear emotional boundaries is extremely important. For example, if you don't have boundaries, anything, right? Anything can trigger your emotions. You know, if you know, if you have triggers, certain triggers, and some of us, we know, especially if we are in agreement, arguments, or sometimes, you know, if we are at work, we hearing certain conversations, or we watching them, we know what our triggers are. So emotional boundaries, extremely important for our triggers to help us. Okay, I don't know if you've ever heard of that grounding technique. Is that so we remain grounded, okay? And by protecting our energies. And we also have what's called the mental firewall technique. That is when we we allow certain things to come in, and we build, you know, sort of like a bubble, a capsule, right? And we able to allow certain things to come in and certain things to, you know, remain outside our capsule. So these things are great to learn about, to protect ourselves from things that, you know, may disrupt this little movement we on right now, this journey we on. If we don't set boundaries, if we're not protecting our emotions, if we are not setting up limits, for example, time limits is extremely important. Like this over the weekend, and you may share your experience with me as well. Over the weekend, I needed to I had my schedule set up, right? And then something else popped up, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know. But because I have my priorities set, I was able to maneuver. Sometimes when you don't set your priorities along with your boundaries, well, first you need your boundaries in place, okay, to be able to stay focused on your priorities. Time, okay, time is extremely important. You know, time boundaries, especially us ladies, you know, sometimes we have things that come up, right? We like, okay, this year's gonna be the year where, you know, I set up time to exercise, to go to the gym regularly. You know, this is the time I used to, like, okay, on Sundays is the time where I meal prep. I used to do that, meal prep for the week, right? And then when things start getting, like, we start getting more busy, what happens? What happens? Our self-care take the hit, okay? Our self-care, and it's not just one person's story. It's life. Sometimes things, you know, happens. However, if we remain mindful, okay, we become awareness. Remember, we talked about awareness. We become aware, right? How we moving, our physical wellness, our emotional wellness, our financial wellness. We become aware of all these things, and then we have the boundaries set in place. Listen here, you know, I'm gonna focus on time boundaries this week or for the year, because I struggle with that. Listen, emotional boundaries is extremely important to me, because I have certain folks in my life that do not understand or are not sensitive towards me, towards my triggers. There are folks who expect me to say yes all the time that I simply cannot. Okay. So, you know, we protect ourselves this way, because without boundaries, it's like trying to, you know, catch water with our hands, right? Like, you know, it'll start like pouring out. It's like having a cell phone without its case. Things start, you know, coming through and disrupt our structure, disrupt the path we on. So yes, ladies, boundaries is extremely important. I wanted to quickly come by here. We don't stay here for long. Okay, we don't stay here for long. We come in and out so it doesn't drag, and it's not we want this to be ongoing, and we want you to take something. These are all things that you might have heard about, people talking about, you know, the internet space. It's very, you know, it's a lot of, you know, input, right? However, just because sometimes, you know, it's good to have, you know, somewhere where we can just like focus, right? We can just focus, and we want this community to be that, to be that guide, to be that ongoing, you know, ongoing support. Okay, so this is what we're doing here. I want us to start coming here every Monday to be reminded of these little things that may not seem important, but over time makes a great difference. Okay, make a great difference. I remembered, I always referred back to caring for my patients, and a lot of times, you know, while I'm helping them through their prognosis, I learned so much. Sometimes, you know, these are things that I've heard before, I've read about, or I know, but it doesn't matter. Okay, learning is ongoing. You know, staying mindful, listening over and over is what's gonna set us up to a better path forward. And when, you know, life comes crashing down, or when life starts taking off for us, we remain stable. Okay, we maintain our composure. You know, we are familiar, okay, with you know, our paths. We're not uncertain, right, about, you know, about life in general. So, you know, as women, we've been, many of us been raised to be there for people, to be there for everyone else. Okay, and you must understand, being available can be detrimental as well. Okay, being available for everything to everyone else, to everyone needs, can lead to you know, depletion. Okay, so this week, what are we going to do? Because every week we have assignments. Okay, I want us, I'm gonna do it. I want us to set up a small boundary that we need to stick to. Okay, we need to stick to, and we know that saying no to others sometimes is not as easy, even to our kids. Listen, true story, excuse me. Today my son, I didn't know he was staying after school. He called me. He called me, right? Mom, come pick me up, you know. And I'm like, why do I didn't know I was supposed to come pick you up. He's like, I said, you're walking, because the school's not too far. You understand? Whereas before, because I'm like super tired. Not only I'm tired, I have things I need to take care of. Whereas before, I will jump in my car. You understand? So this year I'm doing, even with my own family, I'm doing something different. And that's what I want you to take away from this conversation we're having here. Okay? I want you to understand it's not selfish at all. It's not selfish at all. Boundaries, having your boundaries in place is not selfish. And because I told him over and over, like, listen, you need to let me know things. You can't just call me and then, expect me to just jump, Whereas, again, that's how it's been. That's how I've been with my kids, because we want to be the best moms, right? We want our children to say, oh my goodness, I have the best mother. We want our siblings to say, oh, I have the best older sister, the best, younger sister. We want our moms and our dads to praise us when we're not around, to say, oh my goodness, my daughter is always around, right? We want our community to be like, oh, wow, what a wonderful human being she is. She's always there. She's always available. She pours and pours and pours, right? We want our job to be like, oh my goodness, best employee of the month. Okay, because we identify with these, sort of like titles. We want our husband to say, I have the best wife in the world, right? So a lot of women are drowning in shallow water because they've attached, titled, to themselves. They attach these titles. These titles become their identity. Titles become our identity, right? If I have the business, I want my customers to say, oh my God, she's always on time. She always send my packages on time. She's this, she's that. And we holding on for dear life, right? To have people talk, like as such, right? Towards us, while we're drowning in shallow water, while we are overwhelmed. So I used to have so much anxiety, right? If I'm, running late, or if I'm not meeting a deadline these days, I'm like, it will happen, okay? Next time, it will happen tomorrow, okay? Because what we do to our body, when we start expecting, that's why boundaries become such a conflict, right? It becomes overwhelming. But I want us to, my iPad just powered out. I want us to not feel burdened by boundaries. I want us to feel liberated, okay? It's not pressure. We don't want to feel pressure, okay? It's not about saying no to people. It's not about setting limits. It's about saying yes to us, okay? It's about saying yes to you. And we want to feel empowered without that pressure. We don't want to feel pressured. It's not pressure at all. But once you start thinking that, oh my God, I'm going to say no to people, I'm going to start doing this, then it becomes so, it feels, think about it as this is part of my wellness initiative for this year. This is part of me embracing my womanhood, through my wellness. And this is about saying yes to myself, okay? Time boundaries is about setting up times that you say, okay, this is the time where I'm not going to be bothered, okay? We have Tech-Free Tuesday. Use that day. Let's do it together. Use that day and be like, okay, this is the time I'm going to be less on my phone, less on, spend less time on the computer, so that I can start focusing on my, maybe start a small exercise, maybe go for a walk for 30 minutes, do some soul searching, emotional, start getting connected more with your emotions. Listen up to your body, whether it's through exercising, meditating. Start using that day. Let's use those days. We have Wellness Wednesday where we like, okay, this is a reminder day that listen, okay, have you this week on Wednesday, we're gonna start, thinking, okay, what boundary that I, set up and I stick to, right? Set up a small boundary. Maybe saying no. Saying no without explaining yourself. You know how sometimes we over-explain. I don't know about you, but I do. I explain like, oh, listen, I can't do it because this, because that, because that. I really mean to. You understand? Because let's face it, a lot of us, we don't want, some folks are gifted. They can just say no and they're okay with it. And others, some of us, we like, oh my goodness, I don't want to, people to think I'm selfish, right? I don't want my siblings to think I'm selfish. They, I don't want my job to feel that I'm not the best worker, that I'm lazy. Oh my goodness. As a nurse, the way people used to talk about nurses behind their backs used to give me anxiety. I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to do this, I need to do that, because when I'm not here, I don't want, I don't want to be talked about. Like, and then over the years, I'm like, please, I want you to talk about me. Yes, talk about how I'm not, the backbone. I welcome it these days because I know I'm doing something right. You understand? So once we start detaching ourselves with these approvals, with these titles, and holding on to them for dear life, we start freeing ourselves. Okay, I completely forgot to share to the group, but I'll share this live to the group. So this has been our time. This has been our second week of Mindful Monday. Come back next week. We'll have a different focus. This week again, it's boundaries. Start setting up boundaries for this year. Basically, start saying yes to yourself. And one example I can give you that's simple. It's basically just saying no without feeling the need to explaining yourself. And see how you do with it. Okay, and let's come back again. Okay, how did you do last week? Did you do any type of awareness walk? Let me know. So I know that you are listening, that you are watching. If you are watching, let me know, because if I don't know you're liking this, I might not know, right? Because the goal is for us all to take something out of this, even if it's small, and that's the goal. So I am going to practice self-care, do some work before it's still early. I have some stuff to do. I have a live tomorrow on the business page, so I'm gonna start prepping a little bit. Do some I need to do some my nightly routine. I'm drinking my tea right now. It's making me feel like relaxed, and this is like a stress relief tea that I drink. I like it. It makes me feel like a little mellow, and sometimes I need it because sometimes I get overly excited, especially when you're starting something new, as such, and you do get excited. So thank you if you had stopped by. If you did not say hello, thank you as well for watching this live. Feel free to share it and feel free to comment and let me know your 2 cents about a topic of discussion. And next week, hopefully you come back. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Take care of yourself. Practice your self-care, okay? And let's embrace womanhood together. Let's think feminine, okay? Bye-bye. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. And I'll see you again tomorrow, most definitely. Bye-bye.